Hey everybody, so today we're doing our Scarlet and Violet booster box card and specialty set market update video for June. To get right into it, we have Scarlet and Violet base set booster box. It's up a little bit on the month, started around $94.50, now it's up to $95, almost $96. It is selling in this range as well too, $94.83 most recent sales there, so not a ton of movement on that box. Paldea Evolved has been fairly flat as well, staying around that 127, 128 mark. Daily sales pretty much, in that 130 range. Yesterday there was a sale at 135.80 as well. Moving on, we have Obsidian Flames. Actually seems down a tiny bit on the month. Started around 102.83. Now it's at 101.42. So not a ton of movement. When we look at sales, it is selling in that 106, 107 range basically every day though. So maybe the chart's just a bit off, but fairly flat on the month as well there. Then we have Paradox Rift. This one is actually moving up. Started the month around $101. Now it's sitting around 104. And most recent sales from yesterday, we had a $100 sale, 109.60, and a 3 quantity at 99.99. So somewhere between that 100, 105, 110 mark. So yeah, moved up a couple percentage points there, Paradox Rift. And then we have Temporal Forces actually down on the month. Started around 107, 108. Now it's at 103. So yeah, come down a few percentage points there. Most recent sales from today, June 24th, 2 at 98.96 and 3 at 104.95. Then we have Twilight Masquerade. This one's actually been climbing since release. It was about $101 at the start of the month. Now it's around 109, and it's selling today. It's selling basically every day, $109 currently. So that box, seemingly a lot more popular than we thought it would be. Moving into specialty sets, Paldean Fates. This one is going up on the month. Started around $39. Now it's sitting over 40 towards 41. Had a peak closer to 42. Most recent sales though, $38 on TCG Player. And then finally 151 ETBs. We covered this in a video not too long ago. This thing has been moving up. Started the month around $63. Now it's up to around 68. Most recent sales yesterday though, $69, $69, and $70 exactly. We did officially have a $70 sale on TCG Player, so that's pretty incredible to see. Moving into some of the cards, base set, not a ton going on here. The Miriam sticking at the top spot, over $32. Gardevoir, pretty close behind at $29. The Miraidons cracked 20 now at $21.75. You have some other cards in there, nothing too crazy. Paldea Evolved, this is where things get interesting. The Magikarp has exploded. We'll look at that in a second. Iono, almost $80. Raichu, third place now, over 40. Tyranitar at $35.54. The Chuyu is now up to $33.18. Qianpao is at $27.38 as well. So a lot of these cards are moving up, but obviously the big one is the Magikarp. This thing has exploded again. People thought at 100 it was insane, as well did I. I mean, it just, if we look at the 1-year chart of this, right? Insane growth from basically $45 up to where it is now, over 150. But in the last month alone, it's moved from about $100 up to around that 150 mark. That's a 50% increase on the month if you were invested in the Magikarp raw card. Obviously, I'm not sure what the PSA 10 would go for. And most recent sales today, lots of sales. So maybe this is a buyout. Maybe people just want this card. Who knows, guys? I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm just reporting on what I see. 165, 150, 148. There you go. That's sales from today on the Magikarp. Moving on, Obsidian Flames. Again, nothing too crazy going on. The top card in the set is 44.72, Charizard EX. The Hyper Rare Gold one is $18. Pidgeot EX at $12. And the Ninetales is moving up. Shout out to Trevor TCG. He made a video talking up this card, so good on you, Trevor. It's almost at $10 now. So I think when you made that video, it was maybe $8 or something around there, if I remember correctly. So definitely moving up there. And the Scizor as well is up to $4.52. I believe this was a $2 card, and I think we both thought this was going to move as well. So shout out to you there. Good call as well. And did you call it the Gloom too? If you're watching this video, I can't remember, but that one's moving up as well. So a lot of these IR cards, even from Obsidian Flames, are seeing some movement. Nothing too crazy that we should talk about as an investment, but interesting to see. The Groudon has officially overtaken Roaring Moon in the #1 spot in Paradox Rift. Roaring Moon is losing some value. Altaria actually moved past Iron Valiant as well for the first time, I think, since we've seen this list, up to 37.65. If we look at the Groudon, it did hit its peak, during this month up to around $65. It's come back down to around 55, but still up the past 30 days where it was about $50 to start the month. And if we look at most recent sales from today, 55.19, 55.19. So, right on the mark there. Then we have Temporal Forces. Raging Bolt has fallen off. This was obviously over $100. Still the top card in the set. I think this is a very beautiful card. I think it's going to be one of the top cards in Scarlet and Violet. Even when all is said and done, it wouldn't surprise me if this card is up there, even as a Paradox Pokemon. If we look at the 1 month chart, it is down though because it hit its peak, went over $100. It seems like it's kind of flattening out now. We'll see where it ends up, but 82.75 there. Nothing else major to speak of. Walking Wake is approaching $50 again. Iron Crown is trying to push through 70. And then you have Morty's Conviction down here at 44. It's kind of been around there. Iron Leaves around 40 as well. Gouging Fire a bit under 40. So, Ghastly's over 30 now too, which we should point out. But again, not a ton of movement going on. Some ups, some downs. And moving on to Twilight Masquerade. This is where things get interesting again as well. Excuse me. The Greninja, I really didn't think this card was that hot. I think a lot of people thought it was going to come down to when it was at 150. Well, this thing is just continuing to go. It's up to almost $200 now, and if you look today, recent sales $199.99, $200, and $200. So this is officially the first card, I believe, in Scarlet and Violet era to break $200 in terms of sales on TCG Player. I don't think this has happened before. Maybe like a rare anomaly, but this card really is pushing $200 at this point. So there you go. I was completely wrong about that card. Very interesting to see where it ends up. I mean, will it hold there? Who knows? Like, people thought the Magikarp was overvalued, and that thing's continuing to go. So why can't the Greninja do it too, right? So Carmine's holding over 100. Perrin's staying around that $70 mark. Blood Moon, Ursaluna around 50. The Eevee's holding at 40 plus too. So that's kind of surprising. Also, what do we have next? We'll just get into the specialty sets quickly. Charizard EX around $110. Not a ton of movement. The Mew EX, $86. Gardevoir is pushing 50 now at 51.25. The Pikachu's up to 36.80 as well, fourth card in the set. Then you have some other shinies. You have Charmander, you have Charmeleon, Snorlax, you have the Iona card as well. But really, it's just those top three cards, the Gardevoir, the Mew, and the Charizard. Paldean Fates, I think, is a pretty underrated set, to be honest. So we're going to have to see where that goes long term. And then, I just brought the Mew up because this is kind of the card, I think, to keep your eye on in the set. Outside the Charizard. Started the month around $81.50. Now it's up to around $86. So like a 5% move, give or take around there. And most recent sales are over $80 as well. $84.97, $81, and $84.97 from today. So it really is about an $85 card right now. And then finally, we'll look at 151. Not a ton of movement here. The Charizard is pretty flat around $114. Blastoise still sitting around $45, $46. Venusaur, low 40s at 41.64. The Zapdos, high 30s, 37.96. Full Art Charizard EX, 32.98. The Alakazam, my favorite card, my favorite Pokemon, 32.90. Then you have, all the other cards in the set: Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmeleon, Pikachu, Wartortle. All these cards in that $20 to $25 range. Really deep set, honestly. 151. Again, we still think the reprint's going to come. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to these prices when the reprint does eventually come, if it does. But, for now, that's really all we got for you guys today. Basically, the main takeaways, if I can find the card, is that the Magikarp has absolutely exploded in price, up 50% on the month. The Greninja is continuing to climb. This thing is officially breaking that $200 barrier. And most of the boxes are just sitting flat. So nothing too crazy going on there outside of maybe Twilight Masquerade growing and then Paradox Rift up a couple percentage points. That's going to be the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.